the heart of this nation, under skies so blue,
there's a spirit that's stirring, values strong and true.
from the mountains to the prairies, from the cities to the sea, we stand for liberty, for faith and family. We're diving deep into the heart of what we believe.
Okay, let's unpack this. You know, there's been a pretty significant development recently. It really felt like something we needed to dig into. We're talking about the Department of Justice, the DOJ, and their announcement about a new strike force. And this came right after some revelations from the Director of National Intelligence, DNI, Tulsi Gabbard.
Yeah, concerning what our source is calling the Russia collusion hoax. And for this deep dive, we're mainly looking at an article from Red State. It just came out July 23rd, 2025.
Yesterday. Okay.
Exactly. And it's useful because it seems to have the official DOJ statements, plus the author's take on it all. So our mission really is to get a handle on what exactly this strike force is, what's it supposed to investigate, and what are the source reactions, what does it all mean, just based on this Red State piece.
Right. And our goal, like always, is to try and cut through the noise for you, pull out the key bits of information, and help you make sense of what this might mean down the line. So maybe let's start by setting the scene a bit. The Red State article says that on Wednesday, that's July 23rd, DNI Gabbard, she made a pretty big announcement. This was at a White House briefing. And the core of it, according to the source, well, she made a criminal referral to the DOJ.
That's the headline grabber, yeah. And just for clarity, a criminal referral, it's basically a formal heads up to the Justice Department saying, hey, we think a crime might have happened here. You should investigate.
Okay.
And the subject, the article links it directly to, quote, bombshell revelations about the Russia collusion hoax.
Yeah.
And what the source really highlights is that Gabbard apparently said she has evidence that directly points to former President Obama.
Wow.
And that he's actually named.
Yeah.
Named in the referral. That's according to the article.
And the source suggests this wasn't totally out of left field, right? It mentions Gabbard had talked about this before.
Yeah, the article provides some context there. It says she signaled she wanted to release info challenging Obama's defense on the Russia hoax thing. And it also mentions the source says she previously slammed Obama after he denied being Russiagate ringleader. So, yeah, there was some lead-up described.
Okay, so with that context from the source, the DOJ then responds, and the article paints this as a pretty fast, pretty significant reaction.
It does. Here's where it gets, well, really interesting, as you said. The DOJ officially announces they've formed a strike force.
A strike force, not just a task force.
Exactly. And its stated purpose, again from the article, is to, quote, assess the evidence publicized by DNI Tulsi Gabbard and investigate potential next legal steps which might stem from DNI Gabbard's disclosures. So assess and investigate.
And the DOJ's own words on this, quoted in the article, sound quite firm. This department takes alleged weaponization of the intelligence community with the utmost seriousness.
That's a strong line, definitely.
It is. It suggests they're framing this as potentially something systemic, doesn't it? Weaponization of intelligence.
It certainly seems to lean that way. And the article includes a specific quote from the Attorney General Pamela Bondi right when they announced the strike force. She apparently said, "The Department of Justice is proud to work with my friend, Director Gabbard, and we are grateful for her partnership in delivering accountability for the American people. We will investigate these troubling disclosures fully and leave no stone unturned to deliver justice."
Okay, proud to work with my friend, Director Gabbard. Leave no stone unturned. That language cited by Red State really emphasizes a close alignment here, doesn't it?
It really does. The source presents it as a very unified front between the AG and the DNI on this.
So this term, strike force, what does the source, the Red State article, suggest that means? Does the author read anything into that specific choice of words?
They do. The author makes a point of dissecting that term. They suggest it signals extreme seriousness. Like this isn't just routine.
More than just a standard investigation.
Right. The author's interpretation, as presented in the piece, is that it implies they're looking at a potential multi-level, multi-year, multi-person conspiracy, the goal being, to unravel the whole thing. So the takeaway from the author is that the name itself, Strike Force, is meant to signal just how seriously the DOJ is taking this, expecting, quote, a lot of eyes and effort.
A multi-level, multi-year, multi-person conspiracy. That's quite a description. It really paints a picture of the massive scope the author thinks the DOJ is aiming for. But investigations like this, especially involving past administrations, they face challenges. Does the article get into the potential difficulties? What hurdles does the source mention?
Oh, absolutely. It doesn't gloss over that. The Red State piece explicitly notes that the evidence, quote, will have to be rock solid, given, how high profile this is.
Makes sense.
And it also acknowledges that, quote, some things are from long ago, some things are beyond the statute of limitations.
Right, the statute of limitations, the legal time limit to bring charges.
Exactly. So the article points these out as, like, real, practical obstacles the strike force will have to navigate. Things aren't straightforward.
So the source seems to be saying, okay, big announcement, strike force, sounds serious, but also, hold on, this is going to be tough. Rock solid evidence needed, old events, legal time limits, kind of managing expectations.
It's a fair reading of how the article presents it, yeah. And connected to that, the source also brings up whistleblowers.
Ah, right.
The article suggests there were earlier reports hinting at insiders, people with knowledge. And the author sort of implies that if these individuals are, quote, willing to come forward, they could be really crucial.
Especially for those older events where maybe the paper trail is cold.
Precisely.
Yeah.
Testimony could fill in gaps, potentially.
And, well, you can't talk about this topic without mentioning politics. The source dives into the expected political reaction, doesn't it?
It does, pretty directly. The author states, quote, the Democrats are going to lose their minds over this.
Okay, strong words there from the author. Does the article explain why they expect such a strong reaction, or what kind of fallout they anticipate?
It frames it more as just inevitable, given
Oh.
the whole history and polarization around the Russia investigation stuff. But the author makes a key point, saying any case that results from this needs to be a case that can withstand the backlash.
Ah, so build it carefully.
Exactly. The article stresses the need for, quote, laying out all the facts so they cannot be denied as to who did what when. Basically make it airtight because the political pushback, according to the author, will be intense.
Okay. And one more piece the source mentions, sort of related but separate, the House Oversight Committee.
Right. The article briefly notes that apparently the House Oversight Committee also voted to subpoena several individuals, people like Bill and Hillary Clinton, James Comey, Loretta Lynch, others too.
A subpoena is basically a legal demand for testimony or documents, right?
Correct. The Red State piece flags this as happening around the same time, part of the sort of broader landscape of investigations related to the Russia collusion narrative, but distinct from the DOJ's new strike force.
Got it. So multiple lines of inquiry happening, according to the source. Okay, so let's maybe try and wrap this up. Looking back at our deep dive today, based on this Red State article, it seems the big takeaways are DNI Gabbard makes a criminal referral, naming Obama. The DOJ responds fast by forming this serious-sounding strike force. And the source interprets this as a potentially massive undertaking, maybe looking at a wide conspiracy, but one facing real challenges like old evidence, legal time limits.
And a huge political battle ahead. According to the author, they stress the need for an absolutely solid case.
Yeah, so this deep dive, it really gives you a snapshot based on this one source of how these big claims surface and how government bodies react. It's useful context for whatever comes next in the news cycle on this.
Definitely. So as this strike force reportedly starts its work, here's something to think about. What do you see as the biggest hurdles in actually delivering accountability when you're talking about allegations against prior administrations, maybe weaponization of intelligence, and maybe even more fundamentally, what does justice even look like in a situation this tangled and, frankly, this politically charged?